that's Commissioner Vincent blowing up.
Is it?
That's you.
Just click on the green.
There it goes.
There it goes. I told you technology's gonna get us good. Okay, good morning, everybody. It's 10 a.m. Let's call the meeting to order for Polk County Commissioners Court for July 27th. Well, actually, I guess we are in suite in the Polk County Regional Health Building. So at this time, we'd like to ask Fire Land to lead us in prayer.
Join me in a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for this day, Lord, and your guidance. Ask, Lord, that you would just send thy hand of mercy, Lord, and just lay upon us. Ask, Lord, that you would guide our minds and our service, Lord, that it be uplifting in thy kingdom. We ask, Lord, that you would be with this court to make the decisions, Lord, for the better running of this county. Ask, Father, that you would be with our men and women serving in the armed forces, Lord, in foreign lands and abroad, Lord. Touch them, Lord. Cover them with protection. As we go forward in this day, Lord, we be ever so mindful, Lord, to look to you for our guidance and our direction. And this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. You gonna lead us, Paul?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. Did anyone sign up for public comments?
No, no.
Okay, number 3, informational reports. We have a Healthy County presentation from Adrena.
Actually, it's not going to be me, but I'll introduce her.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to do the presentation this morning. It's going to be Ashley Cureton. She is our Healthy County representative from TAC, and she's going to give you guys some information on the Healthy County program.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all?
Good, thank you.
All right. As Adrena said, I am your wellness consultant. So with the benefits that you guys get from TAC HEBP with your medical plan, that also comes with the wellness program, Healthy County. And so me and my team manage, administer, operate all of those things when it comes to that. So there are many different programs that are available through the Healthy County program, but I just specifically kind of want to talk about what you guys are starting out to do in Polk County specifically. So there was an email that went out for a wellness committee, and they had their first meeting yesterday. I was there for that, and that was fun. It was really great to hear all of the different ideas that they're wanting to initiate and consider with moving forward with the county. And really the overall goal, as far as one of the reasons why I, within my many times of talking with Adrena, was recommending that is because you all are a big enough county. So when we're talking about the wellness program, the success of that, in order for you all to see the return and gains of lowering your medical costs year over year, is going to be the awareness of what are the things that we can do and how we can continue to move forward. So that's one of the biggest things that within the wellness committee they mentioned within themselves. And so I was definitely there to sit and listen and kind of share some different strategies and tools that they can do moving forward. And just know that I am a support within all of the initiatives that we are talking about. So the overall goal is really to have this important positive culture of health and wellness and just a positive work culture in general. We spend a lot of time with each other, and so it's nice if we definitely have a more positive experience and we're focusing on things that we can do. So one thing that I would encourage you all is, as we are meeting with the committee and as they are talking and continuing to have these conversations, if there are things that you all are interested in or things that you want to see, utilize them as a vehicle, because they are going to be representative of the employees and also going to help getting that messaging out as well. So I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that they are ready to move and they have some great ideas, like I said, including incentive programs as well that you all can tie to incentivize and reward employees for different healthy behaviors or reimbursements for gym memberships and things like that. So just wanting to, like I said, making sure that we incorporate that positive culture of health. moving forward. So that way, I know you guys want to save funds. The medical plan is usually at the top of the list when it comes to expenses and budget time. And so as we do start moving into this long-term strategy of really trying to get down those costs, just know that you will be hearing from them and seeing them. And then just at the end of the day, if y'all have any additional questions, I'm always here as well to come out and talk to you.
Sounds good.
But yes, that
Thank
was
you.
all I wanted to say. And I will hand you guys my cards as well. So if you do have any questions, you can reach me directly.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other informational reports? Commissioner Overstreet?
I have one. I just want the court to be aware that Livingston 10U All-Stars are our Dixie Youth Baseball State Champions. They were 16-0 this year. They're going to the World Series in Laurel, Mississippi coming up. And these 12 players, this is the Dixies, not the traveling ball teams, but a Dixie group from here from Livingston. They're having some fundraisers and different things, but I just wanted to congratulate them on their journey so far. They're a good group of kids from diverse areas of the whole county, not just Livingston. They're from Goodrich, they're from Alaska. Corrigan's got some players on that team. Pretty good bunch of little guys. So we want that
Cheer
world,
on.
we want that World Series.
Yeah.
Like I say, they're 16-0 right now in the state, up to the state playoffs. They've done a great job, and I just wanted to congratulate them.
Yeah, well, we want to wish them good luck.
Yep.
Does it say when the tournament might be?
It's the 7th and 8th of August. It starts on the 7th.
Okay.
Goes 7th through the 12th of August.
Yes, yes, that's
In Laurel, Mississippi.
All right, so, it's awesome.
Yep. That's all I have. Thank y'all.
Not a problem. Okay, item number 4, old business, which was tabled from the last meeting. Consider any and all necessary action regarding request for proposals number 2021-18 to provide comprehensive inmate healthcare services at the Polk County Jail. Sheriff Lyons is here to make a request.
Good morning. My request this morning is that two bids that we did receive, or actually 3, that we declined them. It's my recommendation as I move forward in preparing a recommendation to put before you for the next court.
Sounds good. Should I have a motion to reject?
So moved.
Commissioner Overstreet, who was it over here? Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And Sheriff, just let us know how we can help you any further in terms of how you
Actually,
wish to proceed.
before we close out, we'll come and sit down,
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 5, new business, your consent agenda. You have addendums on B. Addendum number 1 in the amount of $97,919.34. Addendum number 2 in the amount of $2,074.92. Addendum number 3, $388,254.55. Addendum number 4 in the amount of $8,747.85. Is there anything on the consent agenda that you wish to pull off?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Robertson. Any further discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consider approval of personnel matters as follows. A, review and consideration of personnel action form requests submitted since the last meeting and review of any authorized emergency hiring. All the listing of the PAFs were included in your packet for your review. And we had 2 new hires, emergency and then fire marshal and the jail. Environmental enforcement, fire marshal, and the jail.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet.
I'll second.
Second, Commissioner Robertson. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B, consider any and all necessary action regarding the position of permanent inspection supervisor for Polk County. This group interviewed several individuals yesterday. We thought we were going to interview one that had some circumstances that were unintended and could not have come, but he has since rescinded his application. So do you want to move forward with the individual that you all had selected yesterday? Okay, so at this time, the offer will be made to Holly Oliver to become the permits department head. Commissioner Vincent?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consider request for revisions and amendments to the budget as follows. FY 2021 budget revisions, number 2021-15, and amendments 2021-15A as presented by the County Auditor's Office. A copy of all the revisions and amendments was included for your review. Move Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss and consider any and all necessary action regarding the County Wellness Committee. As you just heard from Ashley, the committee has already met one time. And so part of it is that the TAC pool allows us to pool our resources so we can provide more services and benefits to our employees. And the purpose of the Healthy Wellness Committee is to help our employees get healthy and stay healthy by providing them additional services. So all of the committee members was included for your review to improve our participation rates in the additional services. And at this time, the court needs to select a sponsor that will participate on this committee as well. You had it right there in your agenda.
I think that was, what, somebody asked me if I would do it?
Yes, and so at this time, you are being officially selected.
Second.
I'll second.
Actually,
Like
that's
the
the
same
first
thing, I used to
one.
get railroaded too, so I think.
Commissioner Vincent and Commissioner Purvis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Gully.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gully.
Yes, thank you.
I'm trying not to be a dropout of it.
Not allowed.
Be healthier.
That's right. Okay, number 9, consider approval of proposal from Tyler Technologies Courts and Justice Solutions for Level 2 optical character recognition. This is the OCR software that offers the ability to use documents scanning into digital formats, which will make it much easier to manage paperwork, especially as our district clerk nods and our county clerk nods. Make it a whole lot easier for them when they have documents that are not already in the program. And the fees would be $3,690 plus the one-time implementation cost of $2,470. We've already included this in the budget, however, it can be withdrawn if necessary.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, consider approval of certificate of exemption to exempt from county subdivision regulations the development of abstract 531 Mary C. Swinney survey 2.81 acres located in precinct 4 and consisting of one tract with individual access to existing public roads with no other common areas or street. So pursuant to section 232.0015 of the Texas Local Government Code, the division of land is listed in section 5 of the Polk County subdivision regulations are exceptions provided by state from regulations, and Philip Cornett on behalf of Ogletree Lumber has requested a certificate of exemption from the Commissioner's Court so that the exemption can be filed in the Commissioner's Court minutes along with a survey of the subdivision. Commissioner?
This is just a small tract of land out of a mother tract on has state highway access, and it's a one-time deal.
And it follows all
And
of
it
the
follows all our
state
guidelines and all that, but you know, if they come back with something else in a 12-month period, it'll be no, this is their one time they can sell this tract out of here in a 12-month period. So
It's just one tractor
One track, just one
Yes, sir.
track. Two.
Well, I'll make that motion.
Okay, Commissioner Robertson, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, consider approval to advertise for bids for one used motor grader for Road and Bridge Precinct 3 with optional trade-in of one used motor grader and determined method of funding.
I'll pay for it out of my fund balance.
Okay,
Motion approved. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, I'm proposing to trade in the old 135 that come from the landfill. I mean, it's, so that'll be between y'all, however, we've got to split it when we get it traded in or whatever.
I mean, precinct 3's always had it, so, I mean, it's no lead off me. If it doesn't mess up the auditor's records down the road, I'm fine with it. Sure.
Figure it out.
Sure.
I mean, but I just want.
But it was an asset of the landfill, or of the
Yeah,
county
yeah,
anyway.
it's counted, but you know,
Yeah.
we just said if we sold something, then we'd
Yeah,
split it.
yeah. Whatever you
That's-
wanted,
that's
whatever you
up
wanna
y'all.
do, but I mean,
Whatever's easiest.
you've done all the maintenance and repairs on it and everything else, Todd. It's yours as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, I appreciate it, but I just,
If you
want
wanna
y'all to know
include-
that I didn't forget it.
If you wanna include that in my motion, that'll be just fine. It belongs to precinct 3.
Okay.
Trade-in value belongs to precinct 3.
very well.
Yeah.
So it comes as a motion from Commissioner Overstreet. Do I have a second?
Second, one of them, can I second that?
No, you can't say, we don't want you to second.
Yeah, you got a second.
Scott?
I'll second.
Yeah.
Commissioner Robertson, all in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 12, consider order to establish criteria for redistricting of political boundaries per House Bill 2025, which passed in the previous legislative session and has been signed into law by Governor Abbott. Counties, cities, and school districts have until March 1st to complete redistricting efforts utilizing the census data that is scheduled to be released on or after September 30th. We contracted with Allison Basson McGee. They have informed us that it will take three weeks to load all the data into the software once the Census Bureau releases it. Keep in mind that that's a key word right there, once the Census Bureau releases it. So the court is only obligated to redistrict if our smallest and our largest precincts deviate in population by 10% or more. However, it's still considered a good idea if we have a deviation of 5% or more, which is basically the recommendation from Allison Bassett McGee, which does seem likely. We have had population growth in some areas of the county, but not in other areas of the county. So we don't want to skew our precincts in that direction. So the first item for consideration is the adoption of the criteria, which will help us going through the redistricting, and an order establishing that criteria has been included in your packet. The court can also consider whether or not you want to form a citizens committee that would propose possible redistricting plans. If you form a citizens committee, then we need to include people from all aspects and all areas of the county. So it would have to, the citizens committee should reflect all the demographics of the county, and including various racial or ethnic populations with similar percentages of the population. Allison Bassing McGee are willing to organize regional workshops, because they do have several counties, and so they have agreed to do regional workshops. We can also request that they do a workshop with us, with the court, or with the citizens committee, if that's the direction the court would like to go.
Well, they're gonna come to us with a recommendation, correct?
Yes, sir, Allison Bassett McGee will go through and look at it, but they're not gonna come to us with a recommendation for committee or for any other additional stuff. They will do it. If we say, no, we just want you to do it all, then they will do that.
That's what they did last time.
Last time we went through it, and then we had, we still had to move some stuff around after their first initial visit because of a minority precinct to get all that right. I mean, I think we need to see something from them. I know I don't understand the public input, but we need to see something
Oh,
from
you're
them
still gonna
first.
get public input.
Yeah.
Regardless of who
Well, that's
does
what I
it, you're
said.
still gonna
I
receive
think,
public
yeah,
input.
When we get it from them and we think we got it right, we should have them here for our deal and invite the public
Yeah.
to the meeting
Okay.
and not worry about a citizens committee.
Okay,
so
Just
you
invite
wanna do-
anybody that wants to come.
Yes,
And that's fine.
I think it'd be the easiest way, cause that way you know, people that wanted to say something could and the ones that ain't worried about it, they ain't gotta worry about it.
And that is perfectly fine. I'm
Fine
just
with
giving
me.
you all the legal options
That's
that are
what we did
available.
I
last
know, we done it last time
That's
like
what-
that.
Yeah, we did it last time.
It
Okay.
worked out.
And it worked out well?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, we will proceed, we'll do
But
the
I-
order.
You only gonna know if it's gonna work out well after you see the first map. So,
Well, and-
after that, when
and
you start
then-
pulling out of this precinct, that precinct, these don't wanna be in that precinct, when it turns into something, but that's something we'll have to work out.
Which is the
At
same
that
thing that
time.
happened last time.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I said, we need to get the map and look at it, tweak it like we want to, and then
But the
put it in the
public-
paper or whatever, and let the public see it, and then,
Yeah.
then have a meeting and let them come that's got, wants to grab at us.
Have our reasons for it, I mean,
you know.
I mean, the federal government's the one that ultimately has a say-so on it anyway.
Well, and we don't know when the Census Bureau
Yeah.
is going to finally release the information. That's the big kicker.
One thing back to what you were saying earlier on the 10% or 5%, do we need to make a decision on that or leave that alone
Well,
until
we're
they
not
get
gonna
that
know
map?
that till we see
Yeah, the map.
we're not gonna know that till the
30.
Census Bureau releases the
Yeah,
information.
but it's like it's giving us an option, you know, you got an option here, do you want them to figure it out at 5% or 10%?
Well, that will be the discussion
Yeah,
once
okay.
they come to
Okay.
us.
I think it's
right?
gonna
And
have to
then
be 5%.
Then it will be based on Allison, Bass, and McGee when they come to us and make the recommendation.
Yeah.
Correct? So in the meantime, we'll go ahead and move forward with the order that they have, provided us, and then we will go from there. Will that work? Okay, so I need a motion to
So moved.
approve.
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Vincent, any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, consideration and action on an order authorizing Polk County, Texas Tax Note Series 2021. This agenda item should look very familiar. The sale of these notes actually took place on July 8th, and the sales summary was included for your review. James Gilly was here last time, along with Catherine Thune, with Bickerstaff Health Delgado Costa LLP, and Catherine is here again today, I believe. And so basically what it boiled down to is we approved it last time and we had a quorum of the court present, but there had to be 4 people from the court present. And
Okay.
so since we were missing some people, then we have to go back through it and approve it once again.
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Robertson,
Second.
second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Catherine, thank you for making the trip again. We appreciate it. Item number 14, consider
She
approval
just
of.
wanted to make sure there's 4 of us here.
Huh?
She just wanted to be sure there was 4 of us here.
Put our eyes
She was
on-
gonna slap us around if there weren't 4 here this time. She may look little, but I bet she can do it. Okay, number 14, consider approval of request from the city of Onalaska for the collection of their ad valorem taxes by the Polk County Tax Assessor Collector. The city of Onalaska is considering collecting property taxes to fund their budget and has requested that our tax assessor collector collect the taxes for them if that is approved. Our tax assessor collector has agreed to provide that service, but it also must be approved by Commissioners Court. Basically, what it would boil down to is in the same way that her office is responsible for collecting taxes for school districts, for water districts, for other entities, then the city of Onalaska taxes would also be collected. Motion?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet. Second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Purvis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, consider designating Leslie Jones Burks, our tax assessor collector, to calculate and publish the no new revenue tax rate and voter approval tax rate for Polk County pursuant to 26.04 of the property tax code. As the court's designee, it's Leslie's duty to ensure updated electronic data is submitted to the Polk Central Appraisal District as required by 26.17 of the property tax code. She's already performing these duties, but the legislation now requires Commissioners Court to officially designate the responsibility every year. She has been our designee the
I'll
entire
make that
time.
motion.
Second.
Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Vincent, any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I'm gonna skip 16 and we'll do that last, the budget workshop. And we'll go to item number 17. Consider approval to accept $54,180 from the property owners of Country Sunrise in exchange for Road and Bridge Precinct 4, supplying equipment and labor to bring portions of Sunrise Wood Road, Manville, and the Thompson Road up to county standards. A copy of the request was also included for your review, and this comes from Commissioner Overstreet.
The money was deposited to the treasurer yesterday, so everything's on go if I get the approval of the court.
So moved. Second.
Motion, Commissioner Purvis, second, Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now the budget workshop. Okay, at this time, seems like we're spending a lot of time waiting for other government agencies to provide us with information. So at this time, the tax assessor collector is still waiting on the state comptroller's office to furnish the 2021 tax rate calculation worksheet that is correct. There are some glitches in the calculation worksheet that the comptroller needs to clean up because we're getting all kinds of funny numbers that are coming out of the calculation. So, we have not, obviously, since we don't know what the updated numbers would be or what the tax rate is going to do, then we have not changed the tax rate from where we had it. We still have the same tax rate in here. So the proposed budget, hopefully we will have it, because for us to meet the very deadlines that the state legislature imposed on us, we have to have the information from the comptroller, and we need to be able to get it in there August 6th to meet those very deadlines.
We're still in
So we're
session.
back in the same boat we were in the first time they did it. They have not corrected anything that they said they would correct. So, the proposed budget will be filed with the county clerk and posted on the county website, and we were hoping to do it by this Friday, but we may or we may not make it. So, we have a couple of things that are action items, but I wanna start with your preliminary draft, so everybody should have a book in front of them. So if you go to the very first page, which is our capital purchase projections, there has been one change made in that, and that is that we added a request from emergency management for AED machines. And from this point forward, the AED machines, the amount is $17,966. And from this point forward, the AED machines will also be on rotation, just like our IT and technology. So that we can make sure that every building is well covered. So those are expiring, but what had happened was the county purchased a large number of them all at one time. And so once we get a rotation going, we're keeping our old ones. They will stay where they are. They're still under warranty, still have everything we need, but we're gonna start pulling out the old ones and getting new ones. So that's the only change in that. So the total for all departments for debt for our tax notes, capital purchase projections is $139,482 this time. And that's the amount that we will publish. Okay, if you turn the page, then still, once more, based on the .6461, if you turn the page, if you look at the top, the certified net taxable values, the mineral, if you look at mineral for FY 2020, our mineral taxable values in 2020 were $177,417,825. Our mineral tax values for this year are $65,406,435. So you can see that that's a significant drop. And there's even a significant drop from 2021. The drop from 2021 to 2022 is almost, 27%, 27.57%. So our net value for budgeting is an increase of 8.37 at this time. But again, if you look at our net value for budgeting FY 2020, we had a decline from FY 2020 to FY 2021. So you had the 3,050,000,000, and then you have 3,026,000,000 from 2020 to 2021. And now we're at 3,279,000,000. So that's an increase or a change of 8.37%. Okay, if you go on to the page below that, we'll see our debt service. So again, you have to pay for your debt first. That's the first thing that must come out. And then all of this is based on historical or estimated collection rates, based on what was provided by the tax assessor collector. And also the new legislation, remember, put in some stipulations there that we could not lower our estimated collection rate and had to follow historical data. So the debt service fund rate is based on a 99.22% collection. The general fund rate is based on 97%, and the road and bridge is based on 97%. And so then, sir?
Question on that, how is that 99, that's historically?
That's historical data.
How's that 99 and the rest of them are 97?
Because you have additional, the debt service rate is what we are providing.
Yeah. I'm just, the collection, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know we're gonna get.
So we know we're gonna pay that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
We know we're getting that.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
to.
that's coming out before everything else.
Yes, sir.
I understand, okay.
Yeah, so the debt service has to come out first, and then your general fund and your road and bridge fund have to come out.
So we know what's getting paid, the rest of it.
That is
That's
correct.
cool.
Okay, so now if you look at your loose sheet that we gave you, that's, again, the debt schedule, again, just so that everybody gets a look at it. So if you look at our debt schedule for 2021, which is the one that is in blue, again, the judicial center falls off of our debt obligation after this year. Okay, so
It's paid for.
yes. So we're going to move on from that. The other thing is, if you look at those series, the balance for the judicial center, then, 2023 we will be over with it. So we're not far from losing the judicial center. But if you look at it, then we are way past it in terms of debt on it, or debt payments as opposed to our principal payments, interest payments. And then the other thing is you go on down to the general obligation funds, the Series 2020, that is where we renegotiated the jail expansion. And so the last payment on that will be 2027. So Judicial Center, 2023 is our last year, and the jail expansion, 2027 is our last year to pay on it. So we're sneaking up. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, very well. Okay, if you go ahead and flip the page, you get to Road and Bridge. So the based on the 0.6461 tax rate, the increase that's reflected in road and bridge on the same tax rate, on the same taxes, is $412,332 that will go to the 4 road and bridge precincts. What we are proposing in this budget is to also do a general fund transfer of $200,000 to road and bridge. So the total increase in this budget to road and bridge will be $612,332. So that would be maintaining the same tax rate that you all have always maintained, and putting an additional transfer from general fund. Any questions? Okay, so we had some requests, and we had some recommendations that the court might want to consider increasing taxes by a penny. And so we estimated the amount of money that would be generated if the court decided that you wanted to move forward with an increase in ad valorem tax, and it results in an estimated $323,400. Obviously, 2 pennies would raise twice that amount, $646,800. At this time, there's no increase in the tax rate. We all know that we've had an increase because of ad valorem taxes, but there is no increase in the tax rate in this budget at this time. But if the court
I
decides
think
you
we're
want
gonna leave it that way.
Just leave it the same.
obviously I'm fine with that.
I know I ain't.
Okay, but if that's something the court wants to consider, then you just need to let me know.
What's proposed in this budget, whatnot, I think we're good without this right here for now. Might have to look at it next year, that's a whole different,
Yeah, that'll be next year.
next year.
I'm catching up here from everybody else these.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are. Okay, so now into the body of the budget. Again, there's not a whole lot of changes. If you go to page 11 of 82, there's a suggestion and recommendation from the court that we add a line item for disaster recovery or mitigation that would require the court's approval. And so we added that line item in the amount of $250,000. And that would be for disaster recovery and for special needs like the tornado, or if one portion of the county was impacted by a weather event, then that would allow the court flexibility to be able to get some monies into the road and bridge
Affected area,
affected area.
I think that's a great thing.
If there's anything that I say that you all do not want.
So, on that deal, if you just go back to that right there, it's just like, you know, we're hung up in a situation in my precinct from 2019 still with the state, so.
Well, now this would
Will
be
that be
emergency.
That'd be emergency.
This is
It won't be
emergency.
front money on something like that, it'll just be.
No, sir,
for-
this would be emergency.
Okay.
Like, if TDM and DPS had not and TxDOT, excuse me, not DPS, TxDOT had not come to our assistance, then Polk County would be banned from trying to just clear the debris from the tornado. Because that was millions of dollars that those agencies spent out there cleaning up debris. So we would have 2 options. We could either completely deplete our resources, or we could just look like a third world country out there,
Yep.
right? So $250,000 is not a huge amount of money, but it's enough money that it would make a huge difference for whichever commissioner was impacted by that circumstance.
Glad to see it
Good
in
thing,
there.
good thing.
That's a good thing.
So is
So-
that only going forward, not anything that's happened in the past?
I would think that it would need to be, otherwise it'd be other than I would consider the tornado a recent event. I mean, that's up to the court, whatever you all wanna consider a recent event within the last 12 months.
And this is recovery money for the tornado, so I mean, for an event, I mean,
So I would think, we need to give it, I guess, a starting date. I don't think we need to go back to 2019, 2015,
no,
20,
no,
whatever.
no.
So if you all wanna say within the last 12 months, or wanna say
This-
something like that.
This is basically for something that we're not a declared disaster, something like the floods and things like that, where
Correct.
we get a federal
Correct, not for
declaration.
disaster.
This is just local stuff to help, just like the situation precinct 1 was in.
Correct.
I think we ought to go back to the tornado, I mean, because he's still got
Okay.
hit pretty hard if we can.
Oh, no, we can, this is our budget that we're proposing to the taxpayers.
Well, it affected precinct 2 and 3 for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, both of y'all.
For 2 and 3.
Okay,
But
so.
I mean, you still had a lot of road damage with all that debris in the roads and everything too, so.
Okay, since we just started it, then we could say within the last 12 months,
Well, that would.
within the last 18 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say that wouldn't encompass the.
Okay, let's do within the last 18 months. But that's what this is. This is if the state, if there's no declaration,
Declarations, yeah.
okay? So hopefully, we will go 10 years without ever having to touch this money.
Hopefully.
Because I don't plan on having another hurricane flying in our face.
Well, that's a declaration of a tornado.
No.
What's the difference between a hurricane and a
I mean,
tornado?
this could be
Yes.
wildfire events.
Yeah, it could
or
be a
anything,
wildfire, it could be
anything.
Okay? Okay, so I'm assuming we're okay with that.
We're gonna go
Yes.
retroactive 18 months back. That's good.
Okay, then, the page 13, which is the communications. All of that is probably gonna change, not significantly at this time. Once it got tweaked, it actually went down. However, we do have other agencies and other departments that are still moving to this Verizon and the VoIP system. And so they are currently down, and so they will be added to this system. So that will be adjusted. Just giving you all a heads up. Once we get all those numbers, we just have not received them all to date. Okay, next page, page 15. At the top of the page, there were that is your auditor, and that is what will be going to the district judges for their approval, and it includes another position as well for the internal audit. Okay, and then next page is, page 17. Iowa Technologies, and that, the adjusted rate is actually down from what the original amount was. Other than, we're gonna have to, add the new system for the.
It's already in there.
Excuse me, it's already in there. Already said that now. So we've already included the new system for the district clerk and the county clerk in those numbers.
So the new system is where it says Encode?
Yes, Odyssey. Odyssey and Encode, Okay, and then turn the page again, page 19. We, if you will recall, 2018, 2019, we had put 150,000 in there for capital outlay buildings, which had to come for approval before the court. That was for projects or maintenance that needed to be done. Obviously, COVID impacted that activity, so we've went in and put $200,000 in there because we know we're gonna have a lot of buildings that need some repairs finished with your courtroom?
And it started.
Okay, yeah, so we have a lot of projects that need to get done, and some of them are security and safety projects, but we just haven't able to do them. Hard to get contractors. COVID's keeping everybody out. Okay, if you turn the page again, page 21 of 82. We have a long-term recovery team now, and this will, we put a new line item. It's under emergency management, operating expenses, and we're gonna put a one-time deposit of $25,000, which will also help them get started with providing assistance until they can start doing fundraisers, and they will start handling some of the monies that come through to provide direct assistance to our residents. And so the long-term recovery has already kicked off, and they will actually start with the tornado impacted victims. Anyone that was not able to receive FEMA assistance, then our long-term recovery team will go in there, help them assess and evaluate and move forward. So this is a one-time, at this point, it's a one-time just to get that program started. After this, it will actually become a 501c3. It has an independent board that is people in the community that are participating.
But emergency management's working.
Emergency management will,
Work with it.
we'll have that budget and work with them, because any funds that come through, that come to those areas that are impacted need to be audited, need to be monitored, and so we need a county department head that's looking at that, so that gobbledygook doesn't get sent to Lewis for him to try to figure out. Okay, and then let's see, last but not least, on page 50, that's the transfer. It will go to the Road and Bridge precincts. So Road and Bridge 1 and 2 will receive $46,000 apiece of the 200, and Road and Bridge 3 and 4 will receive 54. We stayed with the same rate that's currently.
200. But that's not reflected up here yet. Correct?
No, sir, because it's a transfer, it's not based on the tax rate. What's up here, the 421. Okay, the 421 is based on the Road and Bridge, target balance from the tax rate.
This is more as a supplement to.
Correct.
So will it have its own line item on our?
That is up to you all. At this point, our plan is to provide you with a separate line item, just so you can track those monies.
It'd be best.
Track these monies? Like,
The
we want to stick it into materials,
You can move it around.
yeah,
You can move it around, but
Or
that
whatever.
allows you to see what the balance would be.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am?
Right now, it is a revenue into each precinct. You have a transfer from general
Okay.
fund in your revenue line item, and then you can do wherever you want to place
Yeah.
that in the expenses.
Yeah, right now, it's in there's a line item, that's just for you all to be able to track. But you can put it wherever you want.
So when the new budget comes, it'll come as a supplementation in its own line item.
Yep. Okay. Otherwise, I think we're as close as we can get.
Thank y'all.
Okay, one thing, a couple of things, please keep this budget, once it gets filed, then, effective today, because it's going to get filed immediately, and we're going from there, so it's going to get filed immediately. So if we have any PAFs that are done after this, well then, those will need to be reflected later. You see what I'm saying? Because this already includes the COLAs, it includes merit monies, it includes what each department is receiving. And so any PAFs will not impact this. It'll be monies from the next budget that will be utilized for those PAFs. Okay, now to agenda item, yes ma'am, I haven't forgotten. Now to agenda item number. Do you have a question? Let me know.
We just buying rock over here right now.
You're buying rock right now? Quit talking in class. Okay, so now, A, consider approval to publish proposed increases in salaries of elected county and precinct officers. The proposed increases is included for review. So what we're proposing is a 5% increase for elected officials, along with the COLA, 5% COLA increase that we have proposed for every employee, including the auditor's office. And so every employee is included in the 5%, including the elected officials. So we have received no objections to this point for the expenses and allowances. And so we would like the approval of the court to move forward and publish with a notice of proposed increases.
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Robertson, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item B, consider the approval of the proposed capital purchase projections as they were given to you, the most recent ones that included emergency management. Capital projections, so that this listing will be included as the proposed 2022 budget.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Vincent, any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, any questions on the budget? Speak now.
So basically what you're saying on a merit increase, none between now and October 1st.
Correct, otherwise it will impact the budget completely, and so basically it will be drafted from next year's budget. Every change we make on this changes the budget. So, October 1, everybody will have their monies, which Road and Bridge does not affect.
Yeah,
General fund.
ours wouldn't affect the budget.
No, sir. General
So
fund.
we've been good.
Yeah.
If we,
As long as we have our own money.
yeah.
I mean, 'cause ours comes out as. our
Correct,
own.
so that comes out of your budget.
So
The
it would-
general fund does affect the budget, as we propose it to the taxpayers. And we
Yeah.
want to present the taxpayers with a valid,
Yes, I understand
Budget.
that, I'm just,
okay?
close to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Overstreet, Commissioner Purvis. What time is it, Matt?